Hello, beautiful people. This is Stephanie from Shimmering Bodies. Today I have for you a tarot card reading with channeled messages and astrological insights for the full moon in Capricorn on July 13th, 2022. So I'll start with the astrological picture of what's going on, my interpretation of the astrological picture of what's going on right now, which is that we have a full moon that's a super moon in Capricorn during Cancer season. So right now we're in the Cancer season, and when you have a full moon that's a super moon, what it means is it's at the point when the moon is closest to the earth, so it appears extra large and it amplifies the view of the moon, but it also amplifies our emotions, and it amplifies hidden things that come to the surface, because that's what happens during full moons in general. And that is essentially in astrology what the moon symbolizes, is the emotions, the unconscious, the subconscious, things coming to the surface. And it is a reflection energy, so it has a lot to do with inner reflection. All right, so then also at this time, during the full moon in Capricorn, which is also called the buck moon, which has to do with deer antlers growing to their fullest at this time of year. We also have a conjunction in Pluto. Now, in Greek mythology, Pluto is the god of the underworld. And since Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and we have this conjunction with Pluto, we have two very intense planets interchanging and playing right now. And so the Pluto conjunction will bring in an extra layer of intensity, as well as the super moon bringing in another extra layer of intensity. So right off the bat, we get this very intense time right now. And so this would be an intense time that could expose truths. It could expose hidden emotions, subconscious fears, subconscious desires. It could also cause a release or a purging or a changing or an illumination of the status quo, or just a release, change, illumination, or purge of something coming from the depths to the surface. And so as this happens, there could be moments of catharsis, as well as breakthroughs and deep insights about your spiritual growth. Could be in regards to your family or your family life, to those who are closest to you. Could have to do with how you feel in your heart, or it could have to do with the limitations that you have in your own life, because Saturn is the planet of limitations. So it could have to do with limitations, and you're really coming face to face with those things that limit you at this time. And so the Capricorn energy is someone that works really hard towards a goal. And so they're continuously growing, no matter how difficult it is. So there's some sort of like movement through hardship in order to achieve growth. So this could mean you might be going through a little bit of a rough patch. Doesn't necessarily have to mean that, but it's this idea of growing no matter what the hardship is. All right, and then there's this element of purging, but the purging is only to build a stronger foundation, because you have the mix of the Cancer, which is all about nurturing and caring and emotional health, about the family, about the past and the history and the legacy and the lineage and the ancestors, and the heart energy and the love energy. But then you have this Capricorn, which is like pretty, hard-nosed, let's get her done kind of mentality, who always works really hard towards the goal. So you have, in fact, this emotional purge in order to build a stronger foundation and a stronger life. So you might be having moments where you feel like things are really difficult, but then all of a sudden you feel this new level of bliss or freedom or inner peace that you've never felt before. So it's this breakthrough, cathartic, sudden kind of like up-leveling energy. All right, and then both Capricorn and Cancer have to have relationships strongly with the past. So like I said, this could be around releasing old patterns and breaking free from, for instance, breaking free from family, from tradition, from legacy, from ancestral patterns, things like that might be what you're going through at this time. When I was doing my channeled messages, I got the term power dynamics. I channeled a few phrases and words. So power dynamics, letting go, surrender, high intensity, cathartic emotional states. And then I got the sound of thunder. So before in other readings, I've had the image of lightning, but this wasn't lightning. It's not the image. It's more of the sound, like the thunder clap, and then the rain just starts to pour. So that's kind of the energy that I'm feeling, is this big thunderclap, and then the rain starts to go. And I also thought of that Kate Bush song, Running Up That Hill, and there's a line in there where she talks about the thunder in our hearts. And that's kind of what this energy feels like, is this emotional intensity welling up in your heart and feeling like great love for yourself or for your family or for your loved ones, or just feeling like an appreciation for all that you've gone through to get to this point, or a deep appreciation for life, or just a love or a passion for something that you love to do or something that inspires you. All right, so during this time, I feel like you might be feeling physically, now we'll talk about some physical things that could be going on with you, I guess physical and mental. So there could be a sense of building intensity in the body and mind. So this could come up as, for instance, like headaches, body aches, health issues that are either coming to a head, or old health issues that are acting up, or some minor health issue that you have that's just in a flare up. And then it could be in the mind. You could be like really confronting negativity or limitations, or feeling like you're just going through a rough patch and you don't understand why. Because this energy is there, I feel like the other spectrum of the energy is there, which is this opposite 180 degrees, high intensity towards like these moments of sheer bliss, feeling like that thunder in your heart, where your heart just feels completely welled up with joy or love, and then just these moments of utter quiet peacefulness. So you could be experiencing those elevated moods as well. You might be experiencing the elevated moods or the lower level moods, or you could be experiencing a spectrum of all of those. And then the other thing is because the moon is so intense, you know, there's always that sleeplessness that comes with full moons. So what I've been feeling is almost like really wired, and almost a sense of being overly caffeinated or something like that. So you might feel like that as well. And so what we're still going through, which is part of a larger energetic cycle, is a very deep level of purging and transformation, which continues. So now we'll switch to the tarot card readings. I have several different decks here, as well as this full moon candle by Lucin, and I have this aqua incense to honor the water element of Cancer. So let's do a quick reading, and we'll sort of just get maybe like 3 different themes that could be going on right now for you, and we'll get like some words of advice, and maybe look at some kind of future, like with all these breakthroughs and insights, we can get the idea of where this is leading to with some future possibilities. So I didn't plan which decks I'm going to use because I really couldn't decide which had the right energy. But right now I'm feeling like I'm drawn to this deck. So I'm going to lay out perhaps 3 themes. And then if you relate to one of these themes, then maybe this reading is for you. By the way, if you relate to my readings and you enjoy them, I'd really appreciate you clicking the like button or making a comment, because that really helps to circulate my video so that other people that might enjoy it can see it as well. So I just shuffle until I feel like one starts to pop out to me. So we got the 4 of Swords. That's going to be the first theme. Sorry if these are going to be I'm sitting sideways, so it's going to be weird to figure out which way to make this so that you can see it well. For now, I'll just leave it here. Okay, sorry if that's not the ideal angle. Okay, the next one is the Lovers. And one last theme. Woohoo! 4 of Pentacles. Okay, so we got 2 4s sandwiched by the Lovers, which is a 6. And I'll just give you my first impressions off of these, and then we can clarify. So I'm thinking if you feel like you relate to any of these 4 themes, or sorry, these 3, I said 4 because the number 4 is on there. If you relate to any of these 3 themes, then maybe you can find something in here that's helpful for you, because I will start to channel now. So the 4 of Swords is about going inside and doing some internal reflection, and really going to deep levels where you almost feel like you're breaking free to the degree that you feel unanchored to anything, which can feel a little frightening. I feel like this card indicates also that a new, even though it doesn't in the tarot, I do feel like it's like the still point before a new beginning starts. So this is like if you're taking some time to just be with yourself, take some rest, do some non-doing, doing some internal healing, and just spending a lot of time in internal reflection, then this would be like the first theme. The second theme is I'm definitely getting a love vibe off the Lovers. The Lovers doesn't always have to do with love, but I did feel this coming together. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, actually, now that I'm feeling into it, but this feeling of coming together heart to heart. So often, especially in our families, we get sidetracked with the hurts and things from the past and the layers of all the different energy that's there. And we don't always fully listen or relate heart to heart in this kind of because there's 2 lovers embracing naked in front of this, I think it's like a lotus. So it's like that vulnerability of getting in touch with your heart energy. So I would say this could relate to you if you're just feeling like you're getting to a new level with your honesty and integrity in your heart, and really reflecting that energy out around the people that are your loved ones and the people around you. And this could also indicate, just getting closer to somebody at this time, either feeling closer or physically getting closer, and just putting out a lot of love and loving, caring vibes. This is kind of very Cancer-like card. So if you're just feeling, to summarize, in your emotional body, and you're feeling very much in the heart center and going through cleansing and purging so that you can become more authentic in your heart space, then that's the next theme. And the fourth, I keep saying four, number 4 is important, I guess. The third theme is the 4 of Pentacles. And I feel like this is an inability to, or maybe like not necessarily an inability, but like a frustration with everything new, like a not knowing where to go or how to be or what to do. It's sort of like you're stuck in a pattern. So if you're feeling stuck in a pattern or feeling limited, yeah, I just see like a holding pattern with this. If you're feeling stuck, limited, or in a holding pattern in any sense of your life, then that could be like the third theme. All right, so I'm going to clarify a little bit. I think I'll use this deck. So now we're gonna look into the, sorry, I'm like shaking the camera pretty hardcore right there. Okay, so now we're gonna clarify the 4 of Swords. Yeah, so this was taking internal time to reflect. Just tell us a little bit more about that, what we need to know about that since that person is feeling insights. So 8 of Pentacles, which is the card of just doing the work. So I feel like this is somebody who's doing a lot of work, either working really hard to advance your career, working really hard to advance your opportunities, working really hard to clean up your prospects. I see somebody like cleaning up the resume, dialing in their LinkedIn, which is actually what I just did. Maybe that's why I'm saying it. I'm seeing somebody who's sharpening their business ideas and just getting, yeah, it's like fine tuning. And I see that with career, but I also see it internally with somebody really taking the time to sort through like, okay, these are my triggers. Why do I do that? Why am I attracting these people into my life? Like, how can I up level? How can I do things differently? How can I turn my negativity into positivity? It's somebody who's actively inquiring and then doing the work to make the changes happen. So bravo if that's you. It ain't easy. Okay, and then we have the Knight of Pentacles, which I think is sort of similar in that, to me, this card is about someone who's like moving forward towards a goal, who is in a very practical way, looking at, okay, what do I need to do to get my finances dialed in? How can I create, I see somebody like creating financial independence for themselves, like just thinking, okay, I want to get to this next stage of my life. I want to buy a house. I want to buy an apartment. I want to be able to save for my retirement, whatever your thing is, or even just I'm going to up level my salary or, you know, fine tune my business to make this different type of income. I see this person is very practically like looking at their resources and trying to move towards those resources. So this is just a phase of somebody who's like deeply in the work of figuring out what they need to do to up level. And I feel like this moving out of this, since to me this is moving this way, so moving out of this, that new beginning that I talked about before, is someone who's coming up with realistic, you know, step A, do this, step B, do this. It's almost like a planning, but also like setting those plans into motion. All right, so now we're going to move on to clarify a little bit around the Lovers. So that was theme number 1. Sorry, this is super non-linear. So now we're clarifying the Lovers. I feel like this one wanted to come out. Ace of Pentacles. So I feel like there's a new beginning to maybe a relationship or a fresh start to maybe having better relationships with the people in your life, maybe because you're focused on your heart and emanating from the heart and being pure and true. And that's bringing almost like, yeah, like a fresh chance to make wrongs right, if that makes sense. Like to, I'm seeing somebody like cleansing the future. Okay, and then the Queen of Swords fell out. So the Queen of Swords is, I feel like this card is someone being set free by the truth. So it's like when you know the truth in your heart, it sets you free. Yeah, it's pretty simple. So go with the truth in your heart and it will set you free. And bring you power is another thing that I'm hearing. All right, so the Four of Pentacles. So this was that kind of, so the Lovers, that theme was around being in the feels and in your emotions and leading from the heart. And then this Four of Pentacles is around feeling stuck or limited. And I feel like the reason why you feel potentially stuck or limited is because you are suddenly realizing that in order to go where you want to go, what used to work in the past is not going to work anymore. And so in order to get to your full fulfillment, you're going to have to do something different. And times have changed so much that the old things just don't work anymore. And we're also just not putting up with the old things anymore. And in your own personal life, like you just don't want to do it anymore. You just know who you are and what you'll put up with and what your boundaries are. And so in order to get to this happiness, this fulfillment that's happening in this card, you know that there needs to be a new way to do something. So this feeling stuck and limited is almost like a blessing in that it's showing you that that is like the old you, and that you can reinvent yourself to become a new you, which in the future will become more fulfilled and more happy. And yeah, I'm seeing just a lot of, in all these themes, a lot of spiritual ascension and a lot of really beautiful energy that like a flame is like rising upwards. Okay, so the Seven of Cups is the next card that I pulled to clarify the Four of Pentacles. These are both cup cards, so maybe in getting unstuck is something about going into your heart space. So maybe these two themes are related. I mean, I'm sure they're all related, but these two seem to be tightly related to, in order to get out of your patterns and move forward from who you were in the past, go into your emotions and let your emotions guide you and allow the purity of your heart to come through, and that will guide you to a place that's happier. And I feel like there's lots of options for you, but not all of them are going to lead to your happiness. So I feel like this is a cautionary tale of like, you know, there's a I don't know if you can see this, but there's a dragon in this cup. There's a rose in this cup, a castle in this cup, some wings in this cup, some doves ahead. So I feel like that's saying, take your time to pause and think about what you want, so that in the future, while you're manifesting and creating what you want, you're holding that vision, that level of happiness will come to you. Okay, I'm just going like straight up old school tarot cards for this reading so far. So I just want to further get into these themes. So I'll draw a couple more cards for each theme. So for the Four of Swords, I also got the Two of Swords. let's see, put this here, I suppose. So the Two of Swords, the Four of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. Again, I feel like there's a choice. There's a little moon up here. It's like a crescent moon. I feel like there's a choice. You need to choose. I feel like there's two ways you can operate. So going back to this theme is about recovering, resting, looking internally, working hard, planning, plotting, making your steps forward. And I feel like in that there's two paths. And I feel like these two paths could be so many different things. It could be the path between thinking negatively and thinking positively. It could be the path between going for money and following your intuition. It could be the difference between doing what you want to do and what your family wants you to do. So I feel like you'll know what, it's almost like a challenge. I feel like there's a challenge in front of you right now, and I feel like it's all going to, you're going to pick, so I see two pathways. Sorry, this is hard to explain for some reason. I see two pathways. I feel like you know, once you start to think about it, what the two pathways are, and you know which one you want to move towards. And I feel like it's all going to unfold within a month. So I would say, you know, by August, you know, there's that Lion's Gate in August on 8/8. It's like a portal. I would say by that Lion's Gate portal, you're going to know which path that you need to take. Sorry, that was very, it was very out there, but it felt like the right way to explain it. So hopefully it made sense to somebody. Okay, Temperance is, yeah, it's kind of the same thing. I see two paths. I feel like this is a confirmation of what I was trying to say before. There are two paths. You need to choose which one is going to be best for you. A cautionary tale to choose the right one. I feel like all the three different messages are starting to converge now. I feel like right now, if you're in this internal reflection period, that the key is to getting your energy in the right place so that you feel like you have the right, it's like the first, what's that saying? There's a saying about the beginning is important in all things. I think that's what it is. The beginning is important in all things. So I feel like right now this is saying get your energy right, because your new beginning, once you decide to move out, is going to be very important. Okay, now I also feel like while we're here, there's a new thing starting there, and I just want to get a card on like what that new thing has to do with, because I saw somebody working on external work, like a job. Either you work for yourself or you work for somebody else, but you're, you know, either wanting a new job or you're wanting to up level at the job you have, or you're trying to transition that job into something more that is going to be more satisfying for you. And then also internally, I see the person working really hard to really up level, to get past limitations. Yeah, see, all the themes are starting to converge. Okay, so we're just trying to figure out what this new beginning has to do with. So just, what does this new beginning have to do with? Okay, so this is a card of collaborations. It's like the Three of Pentacles. So it's like in this card, I think this person's like a stonemason, and these people are, there's two architects, and they're all talking together because even though they do totally different things, they all are relying on each other for this project to happen. So I feel like there's something about coming together with other people. So I don't know if it's coming together for a work project or for a creative collaboration, or potentially coming together with some family members, or coming together with a love or a partnership. But I would say, yeah, it's something about being connected in community and collaborating. That's what the new beginning has to do with, some type of collaboration. Okay, moving on to the Lovers card and the emotional. Okay, so we got Page of Pentacles, which we also had the Ace of Pentacles. So I'm getting like someone who desires more. That's what I'm getting off of that card. And then I also got the Strength card. So from the Page of Pentacles, I'm getting somebody who is desiring more, who wants to experience a deeper emotional fulfillment, and who's not afraid to start as a beginner. So someone who's not afraid to basically start over or try again, because this also was like a new beginning to me. There's a lot of new beginnings happening. The Strength card is all about having internal strength for something that you're going through, and by gaining that internal strength, it gives you external strength so that other people can rely on you. So obviously on an emotional level, whatever we're going through is building our internal strength. I feel like this is also related to Leo season, since there's a lion. So Leo season is the next season. So I feel like something gonna have some sort of breakthrough in like maybe emotional kind of up-leveling or breakthrough in August. Yeah, it's actually, the card number is a number 8 also. I also feel like you could be connecting with somebody in August. There could be some type of heart-to-heart connection that you have with somebody in August. Either a meaningful meetup, or could be like a heart-to-heart with a family member, or telling someone the truth. I just randomly was shuffling and this card came out. So the Three of Swords is obviously about like heartbreak and disappointment in love. I think when it comes to emotions, the message I'm getting is that even though sometimes people hurt us and it's hard to learn how to love again and to be, you know, in your heart and to have that vulnerability, that there's also people that are healing, that we are around, that help us reconnect with our heart and become tender and open. So yeah, I feel like a little bit of tenderness with yourself goes a long way, and to realize that you're going through a period where you're healing from some heartbreak. It doesn't have to be a romantic heartbreak. It could just be like a disappointment in a family situation, or a disappointment with a work situation, or just literally the feeling of, in the past, people have stabbed you in the back. And I feel like right now it's all kind of coming up for you right now. It's like an accumulation. I feel like, whoa, sorry, a million cards just fell on the ground. That was like an explosion. Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like I'm just getting also a headache. I feel very drained. I feel like sighing. I don't know. I just feel very emotionally drained. It's just that feeling like after you cry where you just don't want to do it anymore. That's a feeling. It's just like you just can't do it anymore. So yeah, I feel like right now there's still some stuff being processed from the past. There's the Justice card, which I think, you know, doesn't really need any interpretation. It's all about things coming to justice. So I feel like there's an evaluation of the past and all the hurts and all the wrongs, and yet still there's this page who wants to be reborn and start over again and learn how to trust with his heart again. And I feel like this person or you potentially are seeking truth, you're seeking strength, you're seeking healing, you're seeking justice, and you just want to be done with it and move on. I'm really getting that feeling the strongest of just being done with something, and you just really, really, really need to like move forward at all costs. Okay, now we're going into the Four of Pentacles, which was around the limitations and the feeling stuck, but that it's actually a blessing because it's giving you a chance to evaluate what is going to move you forward for your ultimate true happiness. And that you have lots of options and choices. And this Eight of Swords is telling me that any limitation you feel is like self-imposed. Of course, we can all change today, like right now. You can start thinking differently right now. You can start acting differently right now. If you hate your job, you can quit your job. If you don't want to be in a relationship, you can leave your relationship. If you know, have toxicity with people, you can literally right now just stop talking to them and never talk to them again. But any limitation you feel, it's like all in your head. It's not real. It's like you can get free out of that situation. So as much as you feel bound to the past, bound to the family, bound to these hurts and wounds, you can move forward, and it can happen faster than you think. And it can also just be like that epiphany or liberation that just happens suddenly. It's like when you want to break up with someone, you think about it for a really long time, you talk to your friends about it, but when you're done, and you just end it, and then that's it. So it's like you can tell your friends like, oh yeah, that guy, he's no good for you, don't do it, but they'll still date him until they're done. And when they're done, they'll break up with the person. Also got the King of Swords. So I feel like you're the master of your own thoughts and you create your own opportunities. So I guess this is like telling me about that we all have the empowerment within us to do whatever we need to do to get to the next place in our life, because even though we perceive that things are holding us back, in fact, we're the only people holding us back. You know, your limitations are not really limitations. You know, I was thinking earlier today that you can take anything that you perceive as a limitation or a setback, and you can actually use it. If you know how to creative problem solve, you can use it to your advantage. And it's sort of like that saying, you make lemonade out of lemons. So it's like when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Make something sweet out of something sour. I'm trying to figure out if there's one more card that, yeah, okay. So yeah, so then you got the Three of Wands, which is about planning something new, potentially. I feel like once you get past these like self-imposed limitations, you'll see that where you want to go next in life is actually easier than you thought it was. It just takes a little bit of planning. Like I said, you have to do step A, then step B, then step C. You're not going to go from A to Z, but that can be overwhelming to think of A to Z. So just literally break it up into smaller goals. And once you break it up into smaller, like bite-sized pieces, then you can accomplish whatever you need to. All right, so let's see. Let's pull some of these animal cards as like messages from the divine on, yeah, like what tell us more about what we need to purge. Yeah, maybe that's what we say. Tell us more about what we need to purge. So I saw the snake. Actually, I saw the hawk earlier. I'm also going to pull the starfish. That one was kind of right underneath. These cards are talking to me right now. They're getting crazy. Hold on. Fox. Yeah, okay, so these cards are going to be like in the ways in which we need to transform, uplift. It's the frog, and I did see originally when I was talking the hawk. Let me just see if I can find it. I don't know. The other thing I saw was yeah, there were a couple that flipped over. One was the golden egg and one was the hawk, but I can't find the hawk. Okay, you know what? I don't find the hawk, so we're gonna put out the eagle as its placeholder. And I saw this one earlier before I even flipped the deck, so we're gonna take all of these and I'm just gonna do a really quick rundown. So ways in which we need to purge, transform, up level, inspiration for change. So the snake is the energy of the Kundalini that rises from the sacrum up into the third eye, and it intertwines with two snakes that represent the divine masculine and divine feminine, and they merge at the top and become one. So this is sort of like a integration of your innermost selves. We all have masculine and feminine parts of ourselves, and sometimes we learn more about the feminine elements, which is like about being internal, going within, being receptive, being gentle, being soft, being nurturing, holding the bowl of possibility for all things to fill it. And then sometimes we're in the masculine where we're asserting ourselves, getting things done, going forth out into the world, being a leader, being a way shower, being someone who is overcoming obstacles and making things happen. So I feel like the snake is about integrating those two parts of yourself and giving yourself a chance for integration on a body, mind, and spirit level, whatever that means to you. I also feel like there's this network of energy that happens when you do have that Kundalini awakening. So maybe doing some gentle stretching to open up the spine, or to strengthen your spinal cord, and just to strengthen your spine, like the energy going up and down your spine. I could see you doing yoga or stretching. Yeah, just like getting moving, like making waves, having flexibility through the spine. Okay, and then the starfish. So the starfish to me is also similar to the crocodile. So I'm going to move the crocodile over here. So the crocodile is about the ancient thing that's within us that needs to be purged. So it's this different way of thinking, different way of being. It's ancient, it's predatory, it's primal. And we rely on that when we're in places where we feel threatened, when we feel like things are dangerous, which has been during the last few years. So we revert back into what feels safe for us, which is like those old modes. And so to overcome our ancestral patterns. We got to get rid of that dinosaur, that crocodile that's in our spine. I feel like it's in our spine. And the starfish is spineless, right? Because it's all about the head, the arms, the legs, it's all limbs, and it kind of moves in a different way. It moves without a spine. It has different strategies for movement. So I feel like this is saying, like, you don't need to move in these old ways, that you can create new ways, and they can be just as beautiful, be just as fruitful, and bring you to new and interesting places that you might not have ever dreamed of. It's also like when you wish upon a star, I'm getting that saying. All right, and then the hawk, which the placeholder is the eagle, so we'll just talk about the eagle, is all about the perspective shift. So when you're an eagle in the sky, you're actually even higher than the hawk. Because if you've ever watched birds, some of the smaller birds, they, like hummingbirds, they flitter around like at very low levels on the bushes and in the flowers. And then you have like sparrows and things like that. They flit around and they're kind of like in the trees. Then you have crows, because they're predatory. So the crows go up a level and they kind of look out after the little birds. And then you have above that, you have the hawks, who also fly above that, and they check out what's going on. And then you have the eagle, which goes up to the top. There's a saying about the eagle. It's something like, birds of a feather flock together, but eagles fly alone. So it's about being in your intuition, knowing what you need intuitionally, and going with your gut, sticking to your guns. Don't listen to other people. Just go into your heart and do what you need to do. And also about taking perspective to your situation, so that you can realize that none of us are stuck in our situation. We just need to make the plans to move forward. And then we got the fox energy, which is, to me, it's talking about being clever, but also the ways in which we outfox ourselves, getting trapped in the mind and not dropping down into the heart. And the fox is always like, has a deceitful energy to it, because they're little thieves. They steal from other people. So I feel like the fox is telling us to get out of the head and get into the heart, and to look at the ways in which we are deceptive with ourselves and that we deceive ourselves. The frog is about cleansing and about healing. So he has rain falling on him, and yeah, that's pretty much the message, is looking at ways that you can heal, that you can cleanse yourself, that you can purge. I feel like the frog is saying to go into nature, to do something outdoors, to find things that bring you joy and peace and bliss and that elevate your mood. Okay, and then lastly, the golden egg. The golden egg is about an element of surprise. So the future is unwritten. Nobody knows what's going to happen. And so sometimes things need to be a mystery and they need to unfold. I think also there's something in this card, and I'd have to reread it, but there's something about a sound, like an unknown sound being trapped inside the egg. So there's something about listening. Maybe I'll just say intuitionally that the meaning that we're going to get from it is to listen to the song of your soul, and like the eagle, to trust your intuition and to follow yourself. All right, well, I feel like I would like to wrap up now and just end with saying that it's a time of really high emotional intensity. So really do take care of yourself. Make sure you're getting like a lot of hydrating yourself, drinking a lot of water, getting a lot of rest. Also, maybe take some alone time so that you don't drive other people crazy. And Yeah, and then I feel like this energy pattern is probably going to last until maybe like the middle of August or something, and then I feel like we'll be in a new energy pattern. So probably by the next full moon, there'll be a new energy pattern. And of course, the intensity happens really strong, so it's already started now when I'm making this video, which is on the 11th, and I'll probably post it on the 12th, and then it'll happen on the 13th as the day of the full moon, and then probably on the 14th and 15th, it'll start to wane, and then it'll gently start to move into whatever the next cycle is. So you just really have to take extra special care of yourself in the next 4 to 5 days. But you'll see that there are lots of things to be gleaned out of this high emotional intensity and super moon of purging. And I wish you all the best of luck. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a like or a comment, and I will see you next time. Take care.